Yeah, appreciate you guys being here. Great turnout tonight. Appreciate our fans. Obviously, a really tough game. To be honest with you, I thought Bama played more physical, grittier than we did. I felt like there was stretches where we showed some fight and some grittiness. But we didn't have it tonight. It's just one of those nights. They shot the ball really, really well. We gave up way too many clean looks. Their best three-point shooter had 14 attempts from the three-point line. And I just felt like there was a lot of 50-50 balls, and I'll have to go back and watch film, but I just felt like they were quicker to the ball than we were. And obviously disappointed. I think the message in the locker room is just the importance of getting yourself physically, emotionally ready to go to battle every night in the SEC. It's so wide open this year. I think it could be absolutely anybody in that top six. And you got to go work for it, though. I think probably the most disappointing thing to me is I feel like we practice maybe harder than what we played today. And, that's the golly, they work way too hard and do so much more than what's required not to bring the best that they got, I think between the lines. But that second or the third quarter, I felt in the first there was opportunities that they could have ran away with it, but we found a way. Like I said, there were spurts that we really competed and fought back and moved the ball well. And then the start of the third was a tough one. They go to the free throw line, bobbled rebound, their ball, and then we follow a three-point shooter. So we just, it was just like it continued on from that first half. But hopefully Mama's okay. I thought Mama, obviously, defensively, really created some challenges and got some good steals for us. I thought really pushed well in transition. And, we're still young. We're still learning, coming off a tough loss at LSU, and we come home and didn't play the way they wanted. They wanted it. There's no doubt. This means a lot to them, but we've got to pick ourselves up and continue to learn and grow because it's a long SEC season.
Questions?
Robin, do you feel like kind of the advantage of maybe having some of that veteran leadership is, you talk about playing as hard as you practice, that they kind of get that message and it's something maybe you don't need to actually tell them, they probably know?
Yeah, I do. Again, I say this regardless of that scoreboard. I love going to battle with these girls. Just the standard that they have for themselves, the way they challenge and support each other. It's the hardest working group I've ever been around. So it doesn't really make sense that we wouldn't bring that little edge to us tonight. The game favors, I think, the more aggressive team, and I thought they were. And when you don't come out with it, it's really hard, I think, to work yourself to get to that point. And we tried, and we had stretches. And you have to give Bama credit. They shot really well. I thought they had some good rhythm looks, but even with that being said, they shot the ball really, really well.
When you guys did manage to get it to tie at halftime at 41, what do you feel like kind of shifted there that was able to put you guys back in it?
Yeah, I just felt like we're playing a lot. Like, I felt like they were so aggressive defensively and just really bullied us. And we talked a lot about, it's a team that switches 1 through 4, and there's going to be some opportunities on some of our screening action and just the importance of being the aggressor, playing in transition. And I thought they bullied us a little bit and forced our offense really high. I had a hard time getting those ball reversals, but when we were playing and moving the ball, a lot of good things were happening for us. But I also think defensively we had some really good, gritty defensive possessions, but we didn't sustain it for 40 minutes.
Coach, when Coach Curry was in here, she was talking about being able to go inside the paint and get some of those inside outlooks for especially some of those backside threes. Just what did you see on the defensive end of the floor that led to them being able to go 15,
Yeah, I think man or zone, there's a lot of times that we happen to be in no man's land. And, we talk about you got to find a job. And so on that weak side, yeah, you want to jump to the ball, but if there's no job to do and you've got a shooter on your side, at some point, just that communication, that sense of urgency to get out. And I thought that happened way too many times that we didn't know where the shooter was when we were in zone, and that communication, that sense of urgency to be passing around a shooter. And then, man, I just felt like we got caught a lot. Kind of in some overhelp situations and in no man's land, and she doesn't need a lot of time or space, and she got some really good looks.
For Drace and Haley, when they're going through a 6-point offensive third quarter, just what are you seeing with some of the looks in that stretch there?
Like Coach said, they were making it really tough. We didn't do a very good job of what we wanted to do as far as taking advantage of their switches and getting sevens. I think we finally figured it out and saw it could work, but it was just too late. But then at the end of the day, if offense isn't falling, we talk all the time that we have to pride ourselves on defense, and we didn't get it done on that end either. It doesn't really matter about the offensive end if we get stops, and we didn't get that done.
Yeah, I agree with Frankie. Just our offense would get a little stagnant, and we knew what we were expecting and looking for. We'd practice it, and so I think it was just having the mindset that we could go out and execute. And then if that wasn't being executed, it all translates to defense. So making sure we get stops and not letting them have second chance opportunities on the boards.
Robin, I know obviously unfortunate that she went down with an injury at the end of that game, but Mama, how much of a jolt does she bring to this offense, especially in transition there as well?
Yeah, she's just really having a special year. Really proud of her. It's fun to watch her get out and go in transition, and just her court vision is pretty darn special, and probably doesn't get enough credit for just her grittiness on defense and the way she defends, and she's just praying that she's going to be okay. I haven't talked to the doctor yet, so I have no idea what that looks like, but just speaking on what she's doing for our team right now, she's the engine, I think, that makes us go. And it's been really fun to see her have such a special senior year.
For Haley, we talked about Dembele, especially her ability to pass the ball. She had 10 of your 13 assists, well, that's incredibly impressive. What can the rest of the team do to spread that rock around and get the ball to open shooters?
I think we have so many great shooters on the team. It's just like sitting on a good shot and passing it up for a great shot. When Mama drives the paint and kicks, I think really sitting on that shot fake and finding an even better shot for each other.
Any other questions?
Coach, it was a really strong start for both teams. You both shot over 70% from the floor, not a single miss between Haley and Grace. Is that fast pace part of the game plan, or just something that naturally happens when the shots are falling?
I think something that we spent a lot of time on in the off season and continued so far this season is just we want to play up tempo. We want to run. We want deep outlets. We want to get out and go in transition, and I think that's when we're at our best.
For Grace, that's SEC schedule. It's grueling. It's tough. You face two very good teams. What are your thoughts now that we're getting into the mix of SEC play?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think it's just learning to adjust. Especially in non-con, we kind of had different timings of games, so understanding that we have this 2 days or 3 days where we get to really just recover. I think taking advantage of that, and then also we definitely have some vets on this team, so just looking up to them and talking to them and understanding that we have to be super locked in this league, and it's anyone's game any day. So I just think it's exciting, but it's also a lot of work, but I think we all really enjoy it, and I think this game is just going to help us lock in even more.
We'll take 1 or 2 more if you guys have them. All right.
Thanks, you guys.